"Are you a fan of Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska?" And I replied, "Who isn't? It's one of the great albums of the last 50 years."
Hi, thank you for joining us. I'm Dan from Cineworld, and we're going to be bringing this fantastic film to our cinemas across the UK and Ireland.
Oh, love it.
I wanted to start by pointing out writer, director, producer, as many hats you're wearing with this, quite involved with the project. How did it come to you, first of all?
I received an email from an acquaintance whom I didn't know well at all, who turns out to now be one of my producing partners, Ellen Goldsmith-Vane and Eric Robinson, that simply said, "Are you a fan of Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska?" And I replied, "Who isn't? It's one of the great albums of the last 50 years." And that began a discussion about Warren Zanes' book, Deliver Me From Nowhere. I met with Warren. Next thing I know, I'm on a plane with Warren. We're flying to New Jersey to sit down with Bruce Springsteen and his manager, John Landau, played by Jeremy Strong in the film. And they're both cinephiles. John Landau was, of course, the first music critic for the Rolling Stone. He's a film critic. Bruce is a long life cinephile. These men know movies. They knew my movies well, had seen them. I left that first day with Bruce's blessing, and here we are 2 years later.
Yeah. And I suppose because we're focusing very closely on Nebraska and on the making of, a very small period in not only a long life, but a long career.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fresh out of drama school, so I'm going to give you the question I constantly got asked when we're looking at projects. Why this? Why now? Why this particular story?
Well,
why now?
Because it's what I try to do with every movie that I've made, which is to make it personal. Bruce, and in particular the record, Nebraska, have spoken to me since I was a disaffected teenager. And also because it's an underreported time in Bruce's life when he's struggling with mental health issues. That's something that touches most everyone in the United States at the moment, regardless of age and status, socioeconomic class. And also because it's about the art of creation, and that's what I do. So it seemed to me that to be perfectly ripe for cinematic exploration, and also because it defies expectations, like Bruce did when he gave us Nebraska. It isn't like most rock movies, because it isn't a rock movie. It's a psychological drama about the art of creation.
It's got a really interesting blend, I think, of persona and personal, because, as you say, it's not like most rock biopics. We do still have big shots of concerts as well as smaller concerts at local bars and things like that. So you have that kind of rock element, everyone calling them boss in the studio, things like that. But it also is really introspective. Was navigating the balance between those things one of the challenges of this piece?
It was one of the challenges, because you have to remind people or educate people who don't know anything about Bruce Springsteen that we see him at his height, singing Born to Run in front of 30,000 people, to show how much he means to so many. But then you have to contrast that with the more quieter, introspective moments. But to release the tension of those introspective moments in a man who is staring into the abyss, he does the only thing he knows how to do to survive, and that's to go play in a local club, the Stone Pony, that he's made iconic. And then one step further, to show that he has written these demo songs that become the album Nebraska. One of those demo songs is a very misunderstood song of Bruce's that he first wrote as an acoustic song, and one that he said he wished he would have included on the Nebraska album. And the world would come to know that song as Born in the USA.
Yeah, it's a very powerful exploration of that process of writing those things, of taking things from the bedroom and being very specific and dogged in wanting them to be recorded as they are. I'm kind of intrigued by how dark the film is willing to go, how much, you said staring into the abyss, it very much does that. We have some very unflinching looks at it. I know Bruce was present around the project. Did you have any conversations? How did you navigate that as a filmmaker, being aware of the person?
In those very dark moments, Bruce would rather not be around. I think it was too hard for him. His only directive to me during the entirety of writing it, shooting it, and editing it was, promise me you'll give me a Scott Cooper movie. And he said that to me countless times. Don't sand off the edges. make sure that you give me an unflinching look at my life. Don't let the audience off the hook. Because the truth about my life isn't always pretty. And I hope that's what I've given him.
I think you absolutely have. And as well, on top of that, because he has such a unique presence in the artistic world,
Yeah.
and the state of artistry and of the value of art and things like that these days, it was really interesting to me to sort of see that kind of artist-driven piece, and then you yourself being an artist in control of so many aspects of this, writing, directing as well. Was that something that was present with you while you were making the film?
Every day. Making movies is very expensive, or can be. But you have the same concerns that Bruce has, and we see in the film. Balancing creative risk and commercial appeal. It's very difficult to get people off the sofa now into a cinema. I think they'd rather often sit at home and look at two screens, the screen at home while they're doing this. And you can't do that when you go into a theater. I suppose you can, when you go into a cinema filled with strangers and dark. But if you just put that down and give yourself over to a man and his journey, I think you'll go into the cinema thinking it's a movie about Bruce Springsteen and leave thinking it's a movie about you. Because we all deal with the same thing Bruce is dealing with. We just don't happen to be an icon. But this isn't a movie about the hero, Bruce Springsteen, the icon, the myth. It's about a man, a neglected soul repairing itself through music. So I balance the creative risk of making a film that's not like other rock biopics, jukebox hits, lots of spectacle, with the commercial concerns of how will this play in a challenged cinematic landscape. The studio loves the movie, fully supportive of the film. As of last night, Bruce Springsteen has now seen the film 11 times, maybe even 12. Same with John Landau. But I want the audiences to embrace it because I think it has a message of hope and reconciliation, and that if we're all struggling, and I know many of us are, with the right help, you can lead a better, fuller, richer life.
I think one way of getting people to engage with the film in that is in no small part because of Jeremy Allen White. The casting of the boss must be no small thing. So talk to me a little bit about finding the right person to take this on.
I felt from the inception that he was the right person. I'd only ever seen him in The Bear, but I'd seen a quiet intensity and a vulnerability and a kind of blue-collar physicality that he shares with Bruce. And as I've said before, swagger. You can't learn that. What I didn't know was that he would inhabit him as closely as he does. Vocal lessons, guitar lessons, harmonica lessons, movement lessons. I mean, I said to him at the beginning, look, it's not about mimicry or imitation or cosplay. That doesn't concern me at all. It's about finding Bruce's emotional truth and his spirit and essence. And don't take my word for it. I think he's done it, but ask Bruce Springsteen and John Landau. They think he's remarkable.
Final question before I leave you. A slightly more general one. Why should people go out and see this film on the big screen?
Because even though it's an incredibly interior, personal, and at times painful journey, a film never plays the same in your home as it does in a big cinema. Big screen, big sound, and I don't care how good your sound system is, it won't be nearly as good when you hear Bruce Springsteen's music in your house.
Yeah, fantastic. That's all the time I've got. So
Thanks,
I appreciate
man.
that very much.
Thank you.
I don't have to tell you, we got to hit it out of the park with the next record. Bruce Springsteen's on a rocket ship. We don't want to miss that window.
The label, once you have your first top 10, they're just thinking about momentum.
I'm trying to find something real. These newer songs, they're different, but they're the only thing making sense to me right now. The only thing I can still believe in.
Then we'll get it. Whatever it takes.
Well, they blew up the chicken man in Philly last night. Now they blew up his house too.
This is a highly unorthodox career move.
But that's the point. He's channeling something deeply personal But in this office, my office, we believe in Bruce Springsteen.
Everything dies, honey, that's a fact. Maybe everything that dies someday.
Songwriting's a funny thing.
Put your makeup on, put your hair.
And it's about searching for something. Something that's gonna give your life a little bit of meaning.
This is where you're meant to go.
Don't need to be perfect. I just want it to feel right.
Maybe everything that dies someday comes back.